Hi guys, most of you know me. I'm Igor Kopecky. Yes, it's pronounced Kopecky, like Gretzky. Not how it's spelled. It looks like Kopecky unless you're Czech, and then you know the C is a TZ. Anyway, I am gonna do a little bit of some progressions and some workshops on some handstand work that I think is one of the most important things you can be doing, or most achievable things we can be doing on this break. And break from the pool, obviously not a break from everything else. But so just some progressions into handstands. We'll start from headstand work, then moving into some handstand drills that you can work on in this time to come back and actually have some balance and dominate. At the very least, your handstands should be better than they were before. Before we get started on any handstand work, one of the things I'm going to emphasize is being safe about it. If you feel completely out of control in something, then you should definitely not move on to the next step. In fact, each progression you should be pretty much comfortable doing and dominate for 2 days before you move to the next step. And before we move on to anything, I'll talk just a little bit about your wrists, because doing a lot of handstand work is going to put pressure on your wrists. So you want to do it progressively and warm up your wrists every time before you go. So one simple warm up is to interlock your fingers and then just do some sort of hand circles so that you're actually moving through that range a little bit, right? The next one is with the bar. I've just taken my sweeper and taken off the tip and just kind of rolling it forward, so you're engaging your wrists a little bit. Roll it forward and roll it back. Doing that a little bit, especially for tower divers, will strengthen those little tendons and muscles, or at least get them moving and warm before we actually go into handstand work. Yeah, it wasn't just as a play sword that I brought that out. So those are kind of the go-to steps. There's different progressions, there's different ways to get into your handstands, but the most important thing that you can work on at home initially certainly is just getting your balance in the very first instance. So the first steps we will go to, and I will demonstrate, are just actually doing a bit of headstand work to getting used to being upside down. You're all going to be at different levels, so you're going to find the level that is appropriate for you. Be safe, use a mat, don't put your head on the floor, and make sure there aren't obstacles around you as you're doing it, because I guarantee even if you're good at handstands, you're going to come down at one point and land on something. And I doubt parents will be super happy if things break, especially if one of those things that breaks is one of your bones. Anyway, enjoy this practice, and I hope to see you getting back with handstands with good control and good balance as we come back into our full training. First, in your headstand progression, you want to make sure that your hands are behind your head so that you're making a perfect triangle. So head is the tip, hands are to the side, and then bring your hips up first, and then we'll do tuck first. So tuck, all the way up, and control and slow down. If you can do that repeatedly, that's good, and or hold it. Pike progression, essentially the same thing. Triangle first, hands with your head. You can walk your feet in a little bit, legs straight, as you bring your legs up straight into your headstand, and then controlled and slow on the way down. Make sure, for safety, that you have room to roll forward, because if you haven't done this before, you'll probably roll forward a few times. So don't do it right behind a sharp chair or obstacle or fireplace. Another nice progression, facing the wall. Most parents will love this one. You're gonna make sure that your feet are nice and dirty, preferably with some mud, not really stains. Push-up position, facing away from the wall, and then you're gonna start by walking your feet up. So your feet walk smoothly, everything controlled. Feet walk up as your hands walk closer. You want to be quite close with your hands to the wall. If you go too close, you'll fall over. And then avoid
having your back arched. You want to have just a little bit of a pike. You can squeeze your seat or your butt, tucking your hips in, looking between your hands, and then getting comfortable as close to the wall as possible. You can hold that for 20 seconds and then control the walk down again.
Natural tendency in handstands is to have a bit of a body arch. So one little thing we're going to ask you to do and to feel is have your back against the wall and then bend a little bit at the waist. So you feel how your body actually bends at the waist and forward. And then, so you get that feeling, what that feels like, you're going to work on that feeling in your handstand. So next up is a bit of a precursor for pressing up, but also really developing your balance. So we're going to teeter-totter a little bit and really understand how your fingers work in keeping your balance in the handstand. So you're going to put your hands a little bit further away from the wall than we've been doing, significantly further, so that I'm going to go up into a split into the handstand. I'm going to use the wall as just a balance point. So I want to be gently going against the wall. I'm going to use my finger pressure to push so that I come off the wall, but then immediately just relax that pressure from your fingertips and slide back into the wall. This should be very gentle, and we're going to teeter-totter back and forth. Not falling back down. If you've done that, then you've pressed with your fingers a little bit too much and allowed your balance to come back. So this is not easy, but crucial to developing your balance before we move on to pressing up and other balanced handstands. So about half a body length away from the wall, shoulder distance apart with my hands, fingers spread, fingertips ready to press into the wall, and I'm just going to go up into my handstand until my foot rests against the wall in a split. So just gently against the wall as I nearly knock my painting off, and then pushing with my fingers, and then back against the wall. Fingers, pushing just with my fingers, and then let it go back against the wall. Boom. Fingers again, and then back against the wall. Now I'm going to come down, just nice and slow, and keep doing that until your wrists feel nice and sore. So now, as we move to your handstand against the wall, you're going to put your hands down about 6 inches away from the wall. Your eyes are going to focus on a point in between your hands. So your hands are a little bit away from the wall, hands are focusing between the hands, and as you kick up into your handstand, you want to have your hips hit the wall before your legs. So it's a little bit more gentle, and you want to go as soft as you can against the wall without falling back down. So just sliding up smoothly, and then right up into your handstand. Now, as you get your balance, you're going to have use your fingers to push you away from the wall. So fingers, I'm using my fingers to push away and then fall back. Fingers and fall back. And then as you develop that, you will get better and better and eventually be able to hold your handstand. Looking between my hands, pushing with my fingers, and then letting go with the pressed, fall back against the wall. So, just a little bit of work on developing your free standing handstand. We're going to go up into a handstand and hold your split and get your balance in your split. Get your balance there before you move your legs together. This is the biggest thing that kids like to do. You're in your handstand right away, you're trying to get your balance there. Show me your balance with your legs apart. You have much more balance in that way. You have much more control. Develop that balance first. It's easier before you progress to maintaining your freestanding balance with your legs up. So, hands shoulder width apart, fingers spread, and then get your balance. Split first, and once you're completely controlled in your split balance, hold it for 5 seconds at least, really steady, then you can bring your legs together. And then once your legs are together and you're comfortable and you can hold this position for a long time, obviously the straighter the better, you don't want to arch, then you can slide down. Okay, final progressions, and this is just a little bit of talking on press handstands and how to develop them and the advantage. So you don't get any more points from the judges for doing a press handstand, however, it does give you more control. if you were to do a jump into your handstand, sometimes you jump too strong and go over right away, whereas sometimes you don't jump enough and it's a balk. And especially in competition, you want to be confident of what you're doing in your handstand. Pressed handstands are the way to go once you can dominate the other handstands. So we're just going to go very basic on the beginnings of how to develop your press handstand and the balance, coordination, and strength to do it. Starting up in your handstand against the wall, we'll come down a little bit and then back up, down a little further, and then back up, and then all the way down and back up. I'll just demonstrate the first little part. I'll leave it to you as you progress yourselves. But the key, coming down slow and controlled and still being able to get back up. If you can't, you've come down a little bit too far. Don't work on coming down quite that far. You choose your position. Tuck is probably the easiest, then straddle, and then pike in terms of difficulty. I'm just going to demonstrate tuck, but you can show the other positions.
So hands a little bit further away from the wall so your hips can stay against the wall. Up into your handstand, hips into the wall, down a little bit, and back up, nice and slow. A little further, and back up. And then you can go further or slowly, slowly control that last little bit, and then back up, or all the way down. Slow, slow, as you can.
All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. I look forward to improved handstands by everyone. This is a fundamental part of diving. Everyone needs to do handstands in their diving career. Slowly you learn them on dry land. This is the best opportunity. You have time. You can do it multiple times a day. Study breaks. Take advantage of your time at home to become better at something that is so important to your diving career, and they're fun. So I've done them stationary. Obviously in diving you cannot move in your handstand, but just in training and playing, pretty soon you'll be walking all over your houses doing your handstands, impressing everyone. Just don't do them on your balconies. Also, take care of your wrists. So if your wrists are sore the next day, that means you've probably done a little bit too much. Make sure you warm your wrists up before doing your handstands and take it easy. You can spread it out, doing 3 or 4 times, not too much in the day, and let's build your handstands. So stay safe, stay physically distant so that we can get through this as fast as possible and back to normal as soon as possible. And of course, I miss everyone and look forward like crazy, like all of you, to getting back to everything in person.